Yo, what's up guys? In this video I want to go over my favorite place to drop in Miramar, and that's Los Leones. Listen, I was born and raised on the mean streets of Los Leones, where I would steal fruit from the market just so my family had some healthy snacks in the morning. So I know this town a little bit more than most, so don't tell me shit. Alright, but anyway, I do drop here quite a bit, and I found which buildings seem to have the best consistent loot and what is the most efficient, as well as some safe routes you can take and where you can land. Now my personal favorite buildings are these brick warehouses, as they're very open and they make the loot very accessible quickly. And you don't have to run through all these doors and up these steps, and it often has at least one piece of high level gear. Whether it's a rifle or a piece of armor, it never seems to fail me. Now if you and your team can land here and grab both of these buildings, you should have some decent loot. But be careful, as more and more people are now seeming to be going here. I guess they're finding out how good these buildings are. Now after hitting these, you can aim for the tall office buildings with the blue trim or the yellow restaurants, which are often hit or miss. Then there's also the market route you can drop as well. This is another great drop point, as the loot is quick and simple to grab, as it's basically just a square of hallways and essentially loot all over the floor, and it provides pretty decent cover. Now after hitting the market, I usually go for the very tall office buildings once again, as I usually have a gun at that point and I want to get an overview of what's going on. Now these are the buildings I wanted to discuss next. They have the blue trim at the bottom, which although do have a lot of doors and stairs, often have pretty decent loot and cover, as well as giving you the advantage of high ground, allowing you to look out and see any stragglers running around below you. You can also hear them coming up if they decide to siege your building. These are great buildings for your team to regroup, and then you can take control of them and gain intel on your foes who have also dropped in Los Leones. Now there's also these gray buildings with the flat top, and then there's the pillars next door. Now more often than not they have great loot, and you really can't go wrong choosing a route to hit them one after another, sticking to the outskirts of the city. I mostly try to avoid the smaller buildings in the center of the city and the gray stairwells and the cranes and all that construction junk, as it just takes up way too much time to loot and it leaves you vulnerable and out in the open. I've also noticed a lot of people dropping at these hangars near the warehouses, which you can have good loot, but you're probably gonna have to fight for it. Sticking to the outskirts of the city usually works for me, and you can easily find a vehicle if you gotta get the hell out of Dodge. Now while you're parachuting in, make sure you pay attention to where your opponents are dropping as well, and choose a route accordingly. The key is you still get great loot for you and your team, and avoid getting taken out in the first 5 minutes. Now the other benefit of dropping in Los Leones is that if the plane doesn't fly too close, it's really not that popular, which is surprising, especially comparing it to San Martin or Picado. Those are just shit shows. The other great thing about Los Leones is that it's massive, so you have a fair chance. You can easily avoid people in this massive city and still get loot, and then decide to fight them when you choose to. You know they're going to be in the city, find where they're at and go hunt their asses down. It leads to some exciting close quarters urban warfare. The other great thing is it's in the center of the map, and usually the circle is not that far away from you. Like I said, you can easily find a vehicle and get the hell out of there. And that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching guys, and let me know in the comments your favorite places to drop. And don't forget to hit that sub button and stay tuned for more. Peace out guys.